Hello and welcome into another edition of the Arizona State Sun Devils Insider Podcast. My name is Kevin Hicks and I'm your lead beat writer for the Arizona State Sun Devils on SI and your host of the daily Sun Devil Insider Podcast. And I'm so grateful to be joining you on this Tuesday afternoon. We are now roughly 3 hours removed from Arizona State, wrapping up their final practice of the final full week or the final first practice of the full week of uh spring practice. This is officially week 5 now, and it was a good day. Lots of great action between the wide receivers and cornerbacks. Cutter Boley had a good day. He looked pretty sharp. He was making some good reads. He took the simple read over forcing throws quite often from my vantage point. And overall, a pretty solid practice. Kenny Dillingham was pretty thrilled with the effort that he saw today after being more mixed on Saturday. And as for the wide receivers, the cornerback battle, that leads me into today's main topic. Um, which is centered around wide receivers coach Hines Ward. Almost all football fans know the name Hines Ward and know how much respect he has across the football world. Well, he spoke to media for the first time this spring after Tuesday's practice, and I really just want to put the focus on the impact that Hines Ward has had for Arizona State receivers individually and for the program as a whole. Um, I mean, all you have to do is listen to what he talks about in the light that he talks about Jordan Tyson in, and that'll tell you the impact that he has made on wide receivers individually at ASU. Um, Jordan Tyson is set to be a first round pick just over 1 week from now, and he entered ASU when Rashawn Samples was the wide receivers coach. Samples departed to Oregon, and Hines Ward was hired in April of 2024, right around the time that Tyson was making a full-fledged return to the field. And Tyson is an elite talent. He was viewed as a four-star prospect in the transfer portal when he came to ASU. And although there's a pretty good chance that he would have panned out and been an elite player at ASU without Hines Ward, I think that Ward really brought that next gear out of him that you saw a little bit at Colorado, but it didn't fully break out until his first full season at ASU in 2024. Uh, For those of you that have followed Hines Ward and know about his story and his career, he was one of those receivers that was something of a blueprint for how to play the position alongside a guy like Larry Fitzgerald. Uh, Very technically sound, a great blocker, fundamentally strong across the board, great hands, and you see all that stuff reflect in Jordan Tyson's overall game. And you even saw growth from players such as Malik McClain and yeah, and guys such as that. Um, it's the first couple of years on the job were challenging for Ward because he was tasked with rebuilding a receiver room that lost Elijah Badger, um, really had a lot of guys that were unproven and needed refinement. And it wasn't the easiest job, but you see the growth that the room has made as a whole, especially Tyson. And you see Ward's coaching really uh, having a positive effect, even in the blocking side of things. He even said today, you don't get the rock if you don't block, and that's kind of been a resounding theme for Arizona State over the last couple of seasons, and it certainly reigns true now. Um, and you see other individual players breaking out before our eyes, and guys such as Uriah Nellums, Raiden Vines Bright, Corey Butler Jr. Jaron Hamilton continues to look to find a mark in the room with his incredible talent. Um, Hines Ward has done something special in the way that he's developed players individually in this Arizona State wide receiver room, but the impact that he has made on the program might even exceed the job that he's done as a developer of talent. And that's most evident in my mind by how easily he was able to secure both Reed Harris and Omarion Miller, as well as securing a commitment from a talent such as Nico Bland, who's a four-star receiver out of California, uh, literally a full year before signing day. And while that can still change, I feel as if Nico Bland is fully convinced with what uh, Coach Ward is selling in Tempe. And it sounds as if Arizona State is exactly where he wants to be. It sounds as if college coaching is his calling right now instead of NFL or uh, as a college head coach or any other position. This seems like the spot that he's uh, fully invested in. And I think that receivers are starting to notice that. I mean, even when we talked to both Reed and Amarion before the season, each of them said that Hines was one of the determining factors in them coming to Tempe. And that's, I know that I'm kind of, my ideas are going all over the place, but that's kind of a microcosm of what Kenny Dillingham has done in Tempe. He knows how to surround himself with competent, qualified uh, coaching staff, himself with a qualified, competent coaching staff that is well connected with him, in line with him, and um, a lot of great things are coming for the Sun Devils, especially at wide receiver. I would argue that the wide receiver position is the best collective group on the Arizona State roster right now. I think that the fact that you have the flexibility on your roster to bring somebody like Clayton Smith into the room and see him grow in even 2 weeks playing on the offensive side of the ball. That just shows how great of a coach Hines Ward is. He's a player that elite players simply line up to play for. He's a guy that keeps it real. He's a guy that centers his teaching around real, tangible life lessons. He demands excellence. He really puts an emphasis on showing the ropes of playing the position as a whole. Like I said earlier, he has as many as 8 players that look to be ready to play in game action this season. And that's Ward is really leading the charge along with Sean Aguano as coaches that are setting the standard at Arizona State, that are coaches that elite recruits and transfers are lining up to play for. And the future is bright at Arizona State. I think Hines is around for the long haul, and I really, really enjoyed talking to him and hearing his insight during the media availability on Tuesday. Um, like I said, only 3 more practices remain for Arizona State this spring. This Thursday, this Saturday, and the next Tuesday wraps it up ahead of the NFL draft, in which Hines Ward will be attending for Jordan Tyson. That will be a huge moment for the program to see a player selected in the first round, likely for the first time since 2020 with Brandon Ayuk. And I will be covering that on Arizona State on SI. Until then, thank you so much for tuning in to another edition of the Sun Devils Insider Podcast, and I will see you with another episode tomorrow, likely discussing men's basketball. Thank you so much.